Last episode on Treasure Tuesday, we explored the carport and realized there was a bunch of trash in there. So this week we decided to take a walk through the property with a special guest, Justin from Metcalf Mills, and we wanted to look around the property and discover what treasures we may be able to find.
That's what we was looking for.
Oh.
Yep, that's what we was looking for. And I was looking right here.
Oh.
That looks like, I think that's stanchion. Yeah, it's there.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure this one, so it would drop down, they would just drop it.
Maybe, I think we need to go outside so we can get a
Let's go outside.
Good video.
So the way this thing works is it would hang on that trolley by a rope or whatever they had. And these two handle latches right here, they're not rusted up, they're rusted up, but you might be able to see the gist of how they work.
Yep.
So, with these all the way down, these two spikes would be pointed down.
Uh-huh.
And when it came down into a haystack, it would go pretty far down into that haystack. Then they would flip these and fold these out like this, and then they could pick up that load of hay and take it up to the top, and then the trolley would take it back into the barn, and they could then turn those down and get it off.
That is just cool.
And how about it being downstairs under the
staircase?
underneath the staircase? Yeah. Yeah, you can kind of see. It would just fold right inside here, out of the way, and it would spear down in the hay and then kick out and lift it up. You know anything about that dam?
No.
I bet that was a mill dam.
Oh, really?
I bet.
A mill dam?
Yeah, for a grain mill.
Really?
I bet. That's usually the only reason they dam creeks.
he's even more excited now. All right, so you're saying that the dam that you saw up there is most likely for milling purposes. So how would they have used that? What would they have done?
Most likely, I've never seen a dam built that wasn't for the purpose of a mill or some kind of a shop of some kind, but most likely in this area it would have been a mill. So they would dam the stream up and then usually catch off to one side a flume of water. And the dam's purpose was to elevate it so that it could be used. You could have the rise to use it on a water wheel.
Oh, okay.
Or a turbine or a tub wheel. You had to have the water up to make the water rise behind the dam to get.
Right. I see. Well, that's exciting. Well, then you may really like what's down here, because
I'm looking forward
there's
to it.
something different down here. It's even more, much bigger than that little thing.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, what do you think?
What it looks to me like is, this looks to me like where a water mill was, because this is the wheelhouse. That's where the water wheel would have been. And then this side of it would have been the mill structure. I was just looking for the millstones to see if they're in here somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know why they would have built anything else here. You know, the little dam, a lot of times when they would build a dam like that, they would channel a canal, kind of like a canal on one side of the stream, just through the dirt, and let the water flow through that. And I don't think they would have done it on this side, but you see that little crest in those rocks?
Yeah.
It looks like maybe they might have come to that point and maybe had a flume across to a water wheel here.
Okay.
This is like super old. It's got to be a water mill. I mean, this wheelhouse and the way all that is, and judging by the size of that, let's see. The water wheel coming back from here. It could have been a 20 or a 24 foot water wheel based on the size of that column over there. Because most likely the bearing sat somewhere right in there.
Yeah.
Maybe on this side, somewhere right here. See that opening between the two big stones?
Yes,
I would guess right here is where the shaft from the water wheel. As old as this is, it is probably made out of they usually use white oaks, maybe 18-inch beam. And most likely as old as this is, that was what the shaft would have been made out of, and it would have came right through here into this section. See the stones back here? And there's kind of another open section here.
Yeah.
This would have been where all the gearing took place to operate this mill. But up on the road where, yeah, you can see the stone wall up there. Most likely this mill went up 2 or 3 stories, and there was access from up there.
So that's why they have the road.
This is amazing. That's why they got the road down in here.
Oh my goodness.
And if you figure that little dam we saw, that might have been the easiest place for them to capture the stream because it gets so steep on down lower, and they build it here because of all that fall. That's what it is. There's nothing else it could be.
Wow.
What a discovery.
What a...
I bet everybody that knew this was here has been gone for 100 years probably.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not that long, but
Wow.
it's getting close to that. But as far as millstones, I don't know how somebody would have got them out of here, so they very well could be right here somewhere covered up.
They're that big?
Yeah, they're huge. They're huge. A 24-foot wheel based on the size of this wheelhouse, but you can envision the water wheel would have been right in this little. And it's got that to protect it from the flow of the stream.
How awesome is this?
This is. It's crazy awesome. There's no telling how old this is. No telling. The water wheel shaft came through that opening. This would have been where the master gear was off the water wheel shaft. So therefore this would have been a lot deeper inside here. And usually the millstones were on the end of the mill next to the water wheel. So what it looks to me like, I know this is filled up quite a bit because there's not room, if that water wheel shaft comes through, there's not enough room here for the master wheel to have room to work. I bet the stones are under here, and over years of coming down, just covered them up. I bet they're right under here.
You want to have a digging party?
Yes.
Yeah, right. We're going to have a digging party. That's awesome. Look at the smile on Justin's face. I don't think it gets any bigger.
This is awesome.
That really is awesome.
It is.
I thought it was a bridge maybe to get to the other side of the property.
Right.
But this is even more exciting than a bridge.
Yeah,
This is something special.
It is. It's very special. Looks like the top of that base foundation, most likely, I have seen mills built on a slope like this, and they had a little bridge coming from like over there on this side of where the road is into the top story of the mill. That's what this looks like. And it was big. I mean, that footprint, it's big. Tall, big.
Oh my goodness, it's like maybe an anchoring rope or...
I don't know. It looks like how the center of a millstone is, but they don't make millstones out of this limestone, so. Yeah, it's definitely.
It's been chipped off right here.
Yeah.
This was the center. This was your bearing.
It could have been a bearing stone. It could have been. Yeah, they did run shafts in stone, bearing. They sure did.
Wow. Honey, this is even cooler than we thought it was.
This had to be a water mill, I have no doubt.
Okay.
That section over next to the creek, that's called the wheel house.
Okay.
And that's where the water wheel would have been, in that little section. And there's millstones here somewhere. I don't think they would have ever been moved out of this spot.
So if once we start searching, we could probably find them?
I'm thinking they're
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably this big.
Or they would have washed down a little bit?
Could have been. I mean, you could look on down the stream over a lot of years, they could have, but most likely they fell down the section of the foundation on this side of the wheelhouse. There's a little section. That's probably where the millstones would have been. And if they fell down in there, they've just been covered up with wash, and I bet they're in there.
So
And this was a big mill. I mean, you see how far down it is to that foundation?
Yep.
And you would have been walking from here, most likely going in the door upstairs.
Right.
So that's huge.
That's cool. Too bad there's no remnants of the old building, and
There's
if
no
that was
telling
still
how
there,
old
that'd be
this
cool.
is.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't doubt that this road at one point wasn't a main thoroughfare between place to place, because they usually always put a mill on a main thoroughfare if they could, or the thoroughfare went by the mill because it served so many people. A huge mill like this would have served it would have done a lot of milling. Right now in my life, that's all I think about is grain mills, and now to come find this.
It's like
Well, that's not
Kismet.
all I think about, but it's a lot. There's something else. If you're ever in Pickens, South Carolina, the historic Haygood Mill, I restored a grain mill for them years ago, and there's a Petroglyph Site right there. Now this is how it works. The natives would pick out a favorite spot, and most of the time, for whatever reason, that favorite spot coincided with a favorite mill spot to build a water mill. I've seen it time and time again. There's a big petroglyph site. There's a huge rock outcropping. They build like a building around it. It's got a walkway, and they turn the light on, and they can highlight different parts on that rock, and you can see the carvings, little stick people, and so it's like this rock, you know, it's got something. I don't think weather exactly did that. I mean, it could have, but
It's pretty smooth.
yeah, so it's just
Yeah, and it goes, I mean, it's a good
uh-huh.
a good size, and it goes back a ways and up there. So basically take our pressure washer and clean it up, see what we get. Maybe that'll be what one of our Treasure Tuesdays
If
is.
only we had water, access to water to pressure wash with.
Huh.